Hey guys, welcome back to this series of tutorials where we are building a food delivery app with React Native and Firebase. In this video, we will continue from where we left last time. Uh, Let me just see what we finished, what we've done in the previous video. We did complete this screen here. We also completed this one. This is the search results screen. Now you have to be able to navigate to the home screen of this restaurant. For example, if I press on this restaurant, it takes me to the home screen of this restaurant here, so that we can pick what the menu or see the information of this restaurant. For example, working hours, and you can see the location. You can even get direction if you click there. And also, let me just click on direction. I'm not sure if it will work on the simulator. Let's see. Awesome. You can see it has opened the Google map, and this should direct you to the restaurant. So I think this is because it's a simulator, but on your phone this will give you the direction to the restaurant, as you can see right now. And yes, you don't be able to pick it on the simulator, but that's okay. You can try it on your phone. You will be able to go to the restaurant. You're gonna get the direction to the restaurant from there. Let me open the app. Okay, the simulator is giving a bit of problems. Yes, we are there. So you're also gonna be able to see the information about the restaurant and so forth. And you're also gonna be able to see the review, people who have reviewed this restaurant. These are the reviews. And sorry, this is also this gallery. You're also gonna be able to see the gallery for this restaurant, pictures and things like that. You can make them bigger and so forth. So, and the reviews, and you have your information about the restaurant, and you have the menus where you can filter the menus and pick exactly what you want, and then be able to place the order. Also, the main thing I wanted you to see, you can like the restaurant or you can subscribe to the restaurant by clicking on this heart here. If I click on this icon, I'm gonna see that you have a bouncing heart to tell you that indeed you have subscribed or you have liked this restaurant. If you want to unlike it, you can simply click there. You can see that heart changes the color. It goes back to white. If you like, it will be red to tell you that you have liked or you have subscribed to this restaurant. So that being said, we're gonna begin coding. The first thing that we'll focus on is the header. The header is where you have this picture, you have this icon, as well as this other one, and we will implement this animation. We're just gonna use the native API from React Native, the animated APIs, in order to implement this animation. And we'll focus on that, and if we have more time, then we'll continue with all the rest of the items on this screen. Open your text editor and go to your source folder. I have mine already open. I'm using Visual Studio, and I wanted to mention something. If it's your first time to watch this video, I will suggest you to watch the whole playlist, or so that you are on the same page with everyone, because I won't be going back to what you've already done. We're just gonna be moving forward. And that being said, you open your source folder, and inside the screen folder, create a file. You call it restaurant. Call it restaurant home screen .js, and here I'm going to create a functional component, and this is a simple functional component. I'm just having a text that I'll be rendering there. I'm gonna call it restaurant home screen, and then I'll be exporting the component. I've also created a style sheet for the styles that I will be creating soon. You save that. Now we've created the restaurant home screen. We will need to register this screen inside our navigator, because so far we have created it, but our app does not know that this screen exists so that we can navigate to it. So go to the navigation folder and open the client stack. We're going to register that screen inside the client stack. It's very simple. Instead of tapping or reinventing the wheel, simply copy one of the component here and paste it at the bottom, and simply change the names. Going to change this name to restaurant home screen, and the component that must be rendered is the component that you've just created here right now, and that is restaurant home screen, and this should be imported. Make sure you import that component on top here. In my case, it does import automatically, and make sure that is the case for you as well. And you can save that file. You save that. Now that it is saved, go to your search results screen. Where is our search results screen? Here it is. And here we're going to make sure you pass this prop here. I've passed it already, but pass that prop. It's on press restaurant, and then navigate to restaurant home screen. So you can pause your video and type this, because I'm sure you don't have it yet. I just did paste it before the start of this video. So once you have put that on here, I'm going to show you something. Assume you've typed that. Now go to the component folder and go to the search results card, and inside here import touchable opacity from React Native. You can import this. Make sure you import touchable opacity, and once you have imported that, you're going to use that component here, touchable opacity, and just cut the closing tag and paste it just below, above. Where I've pasted it, it's just one view above the flat list, and paste it there. And now we're going to add a on press event. We want to be listening to on press event. So here we're going to pass this prop on press restaurant card. Pass on press restaurant card. You can save that. Now close that. Go to the search result screen, and yes, I assume you have this already in your search result screen under the search result card. If that is added, then everything should be able to work without any problem. I'm just gonna stop my server so I can run this app now. I'm going to type npx react native. So I'm launching my application so we can see what I've done. While it is building, while this is building, I want you to go to the component folder, and inside this component create a file. You call it restaurant header. Call it, sorry, so the restaurant header.js. So you've created this file, restaurant header. So this is gonna be this component which you see on top here. You have the picture, you have the heart here, as well as you have the go back or the left arrow to go back. Sorry, the app is building. Okay, let's give it some time. Okay, the build is complete. So let's see what we have done so far. If you go to the Osage and pick some food, awesome. Now you have, so your app should behave the same way, that if you are on this screen that we've built last time, if you press, it should take you to the restaurant home screen. This is awesome. This is exactly what we wanted to achieve. Now you have created the restaurant header.js file. Inside here, we're going to create this component now. As I said, the component that we're gonna begin creating now is simply what you're seeing. Let me open the app. This is what will begin with the header. So it's this background picture, this icon for going back or the go back navigation, as well as the like button with a red icon, with a heart icon. And if you click on it, you're gonna have also this animation, which is part of the header that we're gonna be creating right now. So we'll focus on this for now, and let me just call it restaurant header. And if I save it and go to the result, sorry, we don't need this anymore. Go to the restaurant home screen, delete this, and now let's call the component that you've just created. It's called restaurant. Okay, wait, there's an error on this. Okay, no problem. Restaurant. Sorry, I'm in the wrong. Sorry, just undo what I've done. Save this. I'm in the wrong file. I'm supposed to be inside this one, restaurant home screen. Delete this, and then before that, let me have my emulator. Yes, here we're gonna call the restaurant restaurant header, and close the tag. So you can see in my case it is imported automatically on top. Make sure you have it imported as well in your app. If that's done, let's save and see on the emulator. Now you have the restaurant header being rendered inside our restaurant home screen. Now let's begin creating this header component. So the first thing that we have is the background image, and before that I'm going to to paste some styles because I don't want to waste a lot of time typing styles. I'm going to paste some styles in here. We can pause the video and type those styles. And so these are the styles that I've pasted. They are very simple styles, and so there's nothing fancy or that need explanation. It's just normal margins and things like that, alignment, and so you can type that, pause your video, type it. I'll also leave the link to this project or the GitHub link in the description, and start it. So those are the styles. That's all about the styles that we're gonna use in this component. Once the styles are created, I'm going to delete this. We don't need this anymore. It was simply for demonstration purpose. Now inside these styles, inside this view, we're going to pass some style to it. This first one gonna be the container style. Style.container, and we need to first create this image. And to create that image, I want you to import a component called image background from React Native. Import that, and then inside this view, we're going to call that component like this. Once that is done, and we're going to pass some prop to this image background component. The first one is style, and this will be styles. We pass styles dot container again, and we need to pass also some props, and the first prop that we're going to pass is the source. And the source, this will be a URI. And before that, I need to import some data because we're gonna need some data. So we can go up here, import. This will be from global, and that will be a restaurant data. Restaurant data from global data. We also need some colors from global colors. We're going to import colors from our global stars. So it's going to be global file and then stars. We're also going to need to use icon from React Native element. So import, going to import icon from React Native element. And what else might we need? Okay, for now that's it. Then sorry, I was putting this in the wrong place. Let me delete it. So I said we need to pass the source prop, which will be a URI, and then this URI will get the data from our restaurant data, which we're importing from here. And when we start implementing the back end, we're gonna change this. We'll be fetching this data from our database. Okay, and before that, let's pass some props to this component. The first one will be navigation, and we're also gonna have an ID prop that we're passing. Just put it like that for now, and then come to your source, and inside the source we're going to say this will be restaurant data, which is gonna be an array of restaurant. Then the element number will be past the ID there. Then we say images. We also gonna need to pass some image style. I say image style, and the style we're gonna pass styles, and here we're gonna pass styles dot image. So let's see what happens in our app. I'm going to save this, and before saving, we'll need to pass some props also. Here we're gonna have navigation, we're also gonna take route. Okay, and we can say before we do that, go back to the search results screen, and from this we're gonna also pass a prop. We need to pass some data, and here we're gonna pass the ID, and let me make this screen bigger. I'm gonna pass the ID, and the ID that we're gonna pass here will be the index. We can also pass another parameter, which will be consider the restaurant, and this will be item dot restaurant name. So we're passing the ID of the restaurant, we're passing also the restaurant name. Okay, these are the two data which we're passing. We can save this, and let me make this again normal size so we can have both. Now we know the data that we're passing. We can go back to our restaurant home screen. So here we're receiving navigation as well as the route, and then from this one you can say const and ID, the restaurant, and then this will be get it from route dot params. We have got access to ID as well as restaurant name. Let's pass that inside our restaurant component. So we're gonna say ID equal to ID. So you can first save the restaurant header component, restaurant header.js file, save it, and also save this file, the one that you've just completed now, the restaurant home screen. So in your app you should have this background picture. Let me just open our app. It closed for some reason. Awesome. So you should have this picture on top. You should have this screen here that when you click from the search result, it will take you to the restaurant home screen. So now you have the background picture. Now we'll begin creating the heart. As you can see, we need to create the animation so that when we click we have that bouncing heart and so forth. So we're going to open a view inside this image component. Open a view, and to this view we're gonna pass some stars. Say stars. This will be the stars dot view one, and inside this view one we're going to open another style. First of all, before we start with this icon, the heart icon, let's first finish with the arrow, the left arrow icon, so we can navigate back. So open a view, and to this view pass another style, and this will be style equal to styles dot view 2. Awesome. Now we're going to open and create this icon. And to create the icon, it's very simple. You've created icons so many times in this project, so I know by now you know what to do. And going to pass the first prop, which is name. Going to call it arrow left. Type, going to say this will be equal to material community. Going also to pass color. Color will say this will be equal to colors dot black. Then size, this will be equal to 25. And on press we need to listen to on press event, so whenever it's pressed we want to go back. So we're simply gonna say navigation dot go back, and that's it. Let's see on our app what we're gonna have. I'm going to save. Awesome, we have the icon there. So if I click on it, saying navigation dot go back, it's refusing. Why? Alright, we need first to pass this prop to this component. Okay, so what we could do, go to your going to pass navigation prop here. We say navigation, or you could use the use navigation hook from React Navigation, but all that is still possible. Whichever is best for you, you can use it. But for me, sometimes I can use this and it's still fine. So now it's working. You can go there and you click go back, and it's working 100%. Awesome. Now we're going to create the heart we now need to create this heart icon, and in order to do that, going to open another view just below this view. Open another view, and inside this view we're going to pass some stars. I'm going to say stars here will be equal to stars. This should be equal to stars view 3, and we're going to create again an icon. I don't have to waste time typing all this. I'm simply going to copy this and paste it here, and instead of first of all, we can see that this icon changes, become red when you click on it, and you have the other icon there, and when you click again it changes, as well as the animation also. So in order to achieve that, we need to keep some state. We need to know what state is this icon, or is it clicked or is it not clicked, is it the first click, is it the second click, and so forth. So in order to do that, we're going to use we have to create some state so that we can know in what state this icon is, as well as what state the animation is. So we're going to import use state hook from React. We're also going to import use effect from React, import those two, and I'm going to create some state. The first one that I'm going to create is called like, and I set liked, and I'm going to give it the initial state of false. So this means initially this will be false, it won't be liked, meaning it won't be in the clicked or liked state or position. And I'm going to create another state. I'm gonna call it counter. I need to count the time to know how far the animation is gone and all that. So I'm going to put counter, then here set counter, and I'm going to give it the initial state of -2. You will understand why I'm doing this just now. You can just follow what I'm doing for now. I'll explain. And then I'm going to create another state called visible, then set visible, and the initial state. So this will control this animation here. Alright, this heart that is bouncing, initially it will be false, meaning it won't be visible. So can I say use state, and here I'm gonna pass a false. Also, let me just begin creating. Okay, I'm not gonna begin the animation right now. And now let's scroll down to our icon. This is the second icon which we're creating, which is this heart. So instead of the name left arrow, you can delete that, and we're going to pass some data here. So what we're going to say, before that I need to create another variable, and this will be, I'm just gonna call it say const, can say const index 2, and it's just any variable. You can put it whatever name you want. Just gonna give it a 10 for now. I'll show you why I'm doing this just now. And now you can go back to our icon. Inside here, you're going to say if light and so give index 2 is equal to counter. If this is true, then it will return a name of favorite. And if it's not true, then it will return a name of favorite border, like that. Okay, and this one we're gonna be just taking it from material, not material community. So the type will be material, and the color we pass red, and the size we can give it 30 instead of 25. Let's make it a bit bigger. And for now, on press event we give it nothing. Okay, we will handle that just now. So let's save first and see what happens. I'm going to save. Alright, we have the heart, which is good, but right now if I click, nothing happens. Nothing happens. It doesn't get red, or there's no animation of a big heart bouncing in the middle. Now first of all, let's first create this change here, so that when we press there, that this heart changes to red to indicate that you have liked this restaurant. So in order to do that, I'm going to create a like handler. So I'm going to create a function on top here. Let me make this going to create a function, going to call it like handler. Okay, and what I'm going to say is that if liked is equal to false, if this is true, sorry, if that is true, then set visible to true, and after that I'm going to say also execute the following statement: set light opposite of the initial state, and also set counter. Now you see the reason why I've used the counter. Set counter, we give it index 2. Okay, so you can see how I've used if statement. If this is true, this is the only statement it will be executed, and if it false, this won't be executed, but these two will still be executed. And now here, let me pass that handler like that, and I'm going to save. Let's see if this will work. Awesome. Now you can see when I press there, it changes the color, become red. When I click again, it changes. Click again, red, and so forth. So we have completed this part. Now we need to begin the animation. The animation is not so complex. The first thing that we're going to do, I want you to open another view. Open another view just outside of this. Open a view outside of this, pass a style to it, and the style here will be equal to styles.view4. And now we need to use the animated API from React Native. So we're going to use animated component, we call it, and now we can use it here. So before that, since you want this component to be rendered dynamically, we're going to open a view here and give some condition for it to be rendered. We say this should be rendered only if visible is true, and index 2 also equal to counter, and if all those are true, then you can render the following, and this will be an animated view. So we're gonna first say animated, then that view dot view, then close the bracket, and then inside here we're going to pass the icon, that must be animated with this view. We can close the tag and pass the name of the icon. Name will be go to favorite, and size give 40, and color we pass red, and type we also pass material. Now we need to pass our animation to our style. Before doing that, we need first to create the animation itself. As you know, each animation has got the start point and the ending point. So meaning you should have your initial values and your final values, which will end our animation. In our case, let me just show you. You see that our heart begins small and get bigger and finally goes back again to small and disappears. So we need to create all this state. So the first thing that we're going to do, can just below this create a initial value, which is general current value. Say current value, and say new animated dot value. I'm gonna pass a 1 to it. And now we're going to use this hook, use effect, and here we're gonna pass the light state, so that when this state changes, it will run also this function. So whenever the light state change, whenever it clicked, and then all the stuff inside here will be run or executed. Okay, so what I'm going to say here is, if light is true, if light is true, if this is true, then I want to animate with spring or spring animation, because you can see that heart is kind of springy, spring animation. And we pass some parameters. The first one is the initial value, which is current value, and this will first animate to value, let's say 3, and can pass some props, friction, can give it 2, and this is also mandatory to use native drivers, and say this will be true as well. And we say the animation should start here, and then once the start is complete, we're gonna have a callback, and here we're going again to animate for the second time, because the first time it starts, it goes until there, and the second time it gets smaller and goes back. Okay, so this is the second animation. We're gonna say the second one will be a spring type of animation as well. We say animated.spring to say this is the spring animation, and the value gonna say current and now remember this current value will be 3 at this when this animation starts. So we're gonna have 3. Now we want to animate it to 1, back to 1. So animate to value, then we say to 1. Okay. And then we're gonna use again this native driver, we say true, and you could give it again some friction, say friction, give it 2, and you want again to start animating, and say start, and we're gonna have a callback again here when this animation is complete. So when this second animation is complete, what must we do? we want to change the visible state. So we want to remove the heart on the screen, because you can see when it animate, it's gonna stay small, that makes it complete, and then it removed. So for it to get removed, we need to set visible to false. Okay, this is the state that you've created here, visible to false. We set it to false here because you see that visible is set to true here. If the state changed, if like is changed, it clicked and the initial state was false, then yes, we can set it to true. But if the initial state is true here, if it was locked already, then you don't set it to true. And then when this visible is true, the animation, the heart in the center will be visible at the end. And then when the animation is complete, we set it back to false so that we remove the heart from the screen. So this is very simple, and if you don't understand or have any question, just write it in the comments so I can reply to you. Now we need to transform the animation, our style, so that our styles is animated. So go to the animated view. Inside this view, I'm going to pass the style, and here that's where we're going to pass our animated values. And here we're going to use transform. So we want to play around with the scale or the size. We want to scale the heart. As you can see, we make it big and small. So that is what we're going to play with. So we're going to say scale, then we're gonna pass the value, which will be the current value, and that should be about it. Let's go to our app. I'm going to save this. Okay, right now there's nothing. If I click, you see the heart bouncing, you see it bouncing back small and finally going. Awesome, well done. You have created your first animation, and I'll create some videos where I will be explaining animations in details, because there's a lot of type of animations and there's some complexity to it. There will be some videos that I will create just to teach animation in React Native. First of all, with the native API that React Native offers, which is the animated API. And also I will create some videos later on with React Native reanimated APIs. And now the next part that we need to do, we have created the header. Now we need to begin creating the rest of this screen. I can see the video is getting a bit longer. I'm going to end this video here, and we will begin the rest of the items on this screen in the next video. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you want any improvement or anything that you want to be done in this channel, or any suggestions that you may have, please write them in the comment. I do read comment often, and I will definitely get back to you. And thank you for your support. I hope to see you in the next video, and until then, keep safe and take care. Bye bye.